Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let us say Alhamdulillah to the Almighty God who has created 7 layers of heaven and 7 layers of earth, who have given thousand blessings, millions of blessings, until no creator can count the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And do not forget, salawat and greetings to our Prophet who never cheated, never surrendered, Pang 5 for Ghazwa, who if not our noble Prophet, that is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I standing here. I just want to convey a few presentation about IBM. IBM is International Business Machines Corporation. Culture IBM. Charles Renlit Flynn, January 2024, 1850 until February 2026. 1934 was the founder of the computing, tabulating, recording company, which later became IBM. For his financial dealings, he earned the moniker Father of Trust. 1876 to 1879. He served as the Chilean consul at New York City. He also served as consul general to the United States for Nicaragua and Costa Rica. And my agenda is history 1880 until 1929. The second is history 1930 until 1979, and the third is history 1980 until now. The four is product IBM. The five is research and discovery. History 1880 until 1929. In the 1880s, some of the technology that would become IBM's business was discovered. Julius Pitre invented the computer scale in 1885. Alexander Day invented the dial recorder. Herman Hollerith invented the electric tabulating machine in 1889. And in the same year, William Bundy invented a tool to measure the working time of employees. On June 16, 1911, these technologies and the companies that owned them were marketed by Charles Renlit Flynn and formed the Computing, Tabulating, Recording Company, or CTL. And history 1930 until 1979. In 1952, Thomas G. Watson Jr. became president of IBM, ending nearly 40 years of his father's reign. In 1956, Arthur L. Samuel researched at IBM Poughkeepsie, New York, created the first self-taught program in 1957. IBM developed the scientific programming language for TRAN, or formula translation. In 1961, Thomas G. Watson Jr. appointed chairman of the board of directors and Albert L. Williams as its president. IBM also developed the SABRE, Semi-Automatic Business-Related Environment reservation system for American airlines. In the same year, in 1964, IBM employees and computer helped NASA record the flight tracks of astronaut Mercury. In 1964, IBM employees and computers helped NASA record the flight tracks of astronaut Mercury in 1964. IBM employees and computer helped NASA record the flight tracks of astronaut Mercury in 1965. IBM moved its headquarters from New York City to Armonk, New York. For the remainder of the decade into the early 70s, IBM devoted much of itself to NASA's Human-to-Moon launch program. And history 1970 until now, financial swaps were first publicly introduced when IBM entered into a swap agreement with the World Bank. The IBM PC, originally called the IBM 5150, was introduced in 1981 and later become the industry standard at the time in 1991. IBM sold Lexmark, and in 202, IBM purchased the consulting arm of PwC. In 205, the company sold its personal computer business to Lenovo, and in the same year, both Micromos in 209. IBM purchased the software company SPSS Inc. In 206. IBM launched Secure Blue, a low-cost hardware designed for microprocessor and encrypting data. In 211, IBM gained worldwide accession when it succeeded in creating Watson until 211. IBM was one of the most recipients of patents from the U.S. Department for 19 consecutive years. And this is famous product from IBM. The first is hardware and the second is software. and research and discovery. In 1945, the Watson Scientific Computing Laboratory was founded at Columbia University, New York. This facility was used for pure skins and became the start of IBM's research division, which now operates and manages IBM's research facilities around the world. IBM is also one of the prime movers open source initiative and began supporting Linux in 1998. The company invested billions of dollars to software development and service based on Linux through the IBM Linux Technology Center, including 3,000 developers of the Linux kernel IBM. Also releases a lot of code in the form of open source licenses, such as the Eclipse software framework. Notable discoveries made by IBM scientists include this is automated teller machine or ATM, and floppy disks, hard disk drivers, virtual machine, rediced instruction set computing, basis data relational, dynamic random access memory or DRAM, DRAM, and electronic key punch, and magnetic strip plot, scanning tunneling microscope, Watson artificial intelligence, Sabri airline reservation system, and universal product code or UPC. Okay, maybe that's all for me. Sorry if I'm wrong, because I'm not a genius who is always wrong, and I'm not an angel who is always right, but I'm a human where there is wrong and right. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I have a question. What is the feel like to work at IBM?
Work at IBM. IBM strongly support its employees to learn all the time. In addition to providing a digital library with thousands of collections from various fields, IBM also finances us to take courses according to their interests. I am currently taking a course at the Interaction Design Foundation and financed by IBM. IBM also expects each of its employees to spend a minimum of 50 hours each year studying. I myself have managed to exceed the 2018 target, even though I only joined in the middle of the year. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.